What happened to Oxygen over the course of the Winter Major? I mean, coming into this tournament, I thought they were dark horses to win the whole thing. I understand they didn't have all of the online success that you would hope, because when this team came together, it was three of the most talented players in the region. All three of them at different points of their careers have been primary scoring options for their teams, and it's led them to success. And honestly, all three of these players, at least for me personally, have been among the top 3, top 5 at different points in their careers. For Archie, a lot of success. Back to top blokes, Semper, Endpoint, all rosters with different players and levels of talent that he led to land performances and found success. And then we're talking about Jorias, who in the Dignitas days was one of the most potent offensive weapons in the entire RLCS. He could score from anywhere. His mechanical ability on the ball, when he had space, could just do some incredible things. So with those two as a duo, to go ahead and add Rise to that mix, who there's very few players in the world that I think are better in lane environments than Rise, it just seemed like this team would be undeniable offensively. Who knew what it was going to look like, but they could figure it out. But as we saw, they had some struggles. I think they were the 3rd seed coming out of Europe. They weren't able to kind of find the success that you would assume. And that was really encapsulated by the Winter Regional 2, where Jorias dropped a .23 goals per game performance. That's the lowest he's set of any mark in his professional career. And not to pick on Jorias, but I think that really encapsulated some of the issues that this team was trying to work out. And to add insult to injury, pun not intended, Rise sustained a couple of injuries to his hand over the course of this split leading into the major. So a team that really needed some time to gel and figure out what they were going to look like on the pitch had even less time to work with because of those sustained injuries. So even with all of those factors, I still looked at this team as one who could win this entire tournament. I just felt like there was so much talent on the roster that it was very difficult for me to kind of wave this team off. What I'm going to try to do today is answer one specific question. What happened to Oxygen? We now know that these parties are splitting ways, with Rise going to BDS. So today we're going to rewatch all of the series that Oxygen had over the Winter Major and just try and get a clearer understanding of what this team looks like on the pitch and ultimately what happened to lead to their earlier than anticipated exit. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Some pretty early offense here from Oxygen. It's looking pretty good. It looks like what they're going for is a lot of setups by Archie as frontman, and then Rise and Jorias are just kind of playing off of those attempts. Hey, I mean, so far, Oxygen are creating some pretty good chances. They're not able to convert any of them, of course, but they're at least creating some pretty threatening looks, but Complexity just seem fairly unrattled by those attempts.
Shot on target as Archie able to cover up, play third man well.
Nice aggressive
no,
challenge there
Archie.
from AJG, preventing the free counterattack.
Archie's going real quick. He's trying to break out into the other end, and it looked like him and Rise just double committed, right there. And Jorias was pushed too far up. Great counter by Complexity.
And they steal away all that corner boost, trying to limit Oxygen's
Yeah, so far
counterattack
Archie
potential.
seems like the only one who's
Oxygen
really
definitely
looking
getting
to
the
get all the
better
touches he wants on the
of
offensive
possession.
end.
In the last 30
Some of them are
seconds or
really
so, starting
escaping
slowly
Rise
but
and
surely edge
Jorias.
down into that blue side. Big miss in front of the box. Everybody from Oxygen trying to recover. They're definitely expecting some sort of clear, and then they just don't have just a solo.
Finally, we see that backboard pressure kind of work out. They get him into transition. Good fake by Archie, and Rise puts it away like he always does in the box. So one game in, I mean, Jorias just looks uncomfortable. He's not playing in the smartest way. Really, a lot of passes just kind of clearing the ball to get it out of his own half, not always keeping possession, looking for teammates. Just some weird touches. Archie seems to be the most impactful one on the offensive end, but they're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Complexity aren't afraid to kind of clear off their own backboard, possess off their own backboard. Oxygen are just kind of giving the same looks over and over again. They're not really making Complexity work super hard on the defensive end. Smart heads up play. Archie kind of gets him going in transition here, finds himself with some boost ahead of the play. He knows Rise is there. Pretty good finish. I mean, CRR could have saved it, but Archie on the pressure. That's a good team play. We didn't really get a lot of that in the first game.
Taking one away, send it back towards midfield, and Archie, great read
by Archie.
And just narrowly off target.
Would have caught complexity.
Middle to nobody, but it's a good idea.
There's Bull. Jorius was deep back.
Jorius not a lot of power.
Perhaps a dangerous counterattack. Maybe need a boost either way. Giving up a lot of ground.
What a shot by Rise. If Rise finds himself in the box, he's, 99 times out of 100 going to score. And this one looked like it was pretty accurate too. Yeah, bottom left. Great shot by Rise.
Tons of space over to Oxygen. Just seems like the challenges are slower than normal. Archie can't read that one, and the follow-up not there. Jorius puts another shot on target, but Complexity stands firm on the back half.
Hey, I mean, overall, so far, Oxygen are certainly creating more offense. They're not completing all of the attempts. We got some great defense by Complexity, but, Oxygen are certainly competitive in this half, even if they're not quite as multi-dimensional as you would like on every attempt.
Just missed the demo on Rise. Him avoiding that definitely prevents a 2-on-1. Awkward, and Archie says, yeah, let's just this is definitely a tough one to defend.
What are you going to do about this? This is that dynamism, right? I mean, that's just such a great double attempt. The Complexity has to bite on it, and Archie's right there to put it away. That's definitely some connection between the two of them.
Everything out. I was just waiting to see if Oxygen would come clear the ball. CRR still not able to get it done, and now it's a dribble one-on-one. Rise sizing up AJG, flick towards the net. It's off the bar, and it bounces under Archie. Gets away from him a little too much. CRR, not a lot of options, so he goes for the space in the top of the box, trying to reset.
Oh man, they're all over him.
They're so close to being able to break through that Oxygen defense, but they just don't have.
Really low boost. Oh man, I missed it. I was looking to boost for a second. What happened?
The ground pinch coming out at the perfect
yeah, I mean, that's something we've seen that from Jorius just time and time again throughout the series so far. Just kind of trying to clear the ball to nowhere. Low boost, not really thinking about where the ball's just going to go, just punting it instead of trying to, control or look for a teammate. And there is one of the first times it's really bit them. Demo?
Help me. I really don't have good control.
Is that a freebie?
And scored on. Nobody can control the ball, and it cost him dearly.
Great.
Archie chases down AJG. CR and Razebull totally flub the middle.
Anywhere between the sticks.
Yeah, I mean that's a gimme for sure.
The second time now, there's that
another backside demo on AJG. That time it's Rise opening up space.
2-on-1 reason not to at this point. Got into the middle, and that one's just gonna squeeze in the lower right-hand side. Talk about operating on a knife's edge here.
I mean, check out Rise here.
Jorius dusted. Oh, AJG.
And that momentum shifter is exactly what
stopped the defense. An outplay, but just a marvelous play by Complexity. That's not really on Oxygen.
Bull on the kickoff, hard off the wall, straight into the net.
I forgot about that shot. I forgot that happened here. Look at this, punches right to him.
And Complexity take match point.
Oh, Rise.
Chopped it down.
I mean, Rise is retreating. He's trying to get it off his own back wall. Tough read. He should probably have it, but that was pretty nasty by Razebull.
Rise and Archie so aggressive early in
bump?
game number. Yeah. Oh my.
Complexity was diving all over the place here. I mean, you can see on this first attempt, 2 people commit. AJG's
trying to clear. Look, the backboard attempts, kind of those like hard crunching hits. It finally produces for Oxygen. They've been trying it all series, and that's one of the first times it's worked for them.
Such a ball.
Uh-oh.
Oxygen Esports will continue to hold.
They just keep testing that backboard. Look, I mean, that's just who's that pass from Archie? What are you gonna do about this? Is he gonna get a little doink? Rise already up, finishes with speed. Yeah, Archie's really been setting the table a lot throughout this series. I mean, Rise has been an awesome finisher.
Surprise, CRR, it's coming at you hot. And he actually does a great job getting it in the middle, and AJG, he is is actually going to totally catch the Oxygen defense by surprise.
What a
he
cut.
cuts through the rotation.
AJG picks the pocket of
Rise has no
off
idea
the
he's going to
back
cut in
door.
like
It's left
that.
wide open as we're all tied
I mean, if
up.
I'm going to be
Game
critical
number
of
4,
Oxygen so
Complexity
far,
just refused
really
to
it's
go
just
away.
like, if you're Complexity,
Obviously so focused
you
on
don't
that
really have
first
to
guy
worry
at the top
about
of the
much.
box.
Oxygen is
You
just
never
kind of
think
giving
the
you the
guy's
same
gonna
look
go
over and
across
over
hard
again. If
pass
it's
out
not
the
a
corner.
solo
CRR
play,
wants
it's
themselves
just
trying to
testing the
just keep it in
backboard.
the
That's
mix.
kind of it.
And that one's
And they're
actually
catching
over
him in
everyone's head.
transition
Raised ball is
sometime.
just
We
in
saw him
time
catch
to
him on a
keep this
couple of
one to the
demos
safety of
in
the
the
corner.
couple previous games, but
Complexity very
I think there's only been
narrowly
one
conceding
pass
what
to
they
the
just gained
interior
back.
from Oxygen this entire
Time
series
definitely
from
a
Rise
factor.
in
You
game
can't
1,
afford
and
to
it
make a
didn't
silly
work.
mistake
So
on rotation or
you
be
just, if you're
overly
Complexity,
aggressive.
you
Just let
defensively don't have to
Oxygen
worry about that at
back
all.
into
You
the
can just
series
focus
here.
on ball,
You'd much
and
rather play
that's all she
overtime
wrote
than
so
have to
far.
find an marking
And that being
Archie
said,
across
I
the
mean,
middle of the field
Oxygen
there.
not
Lose
going for like
focus.
team plays and being
Little
kind of
floater,
like
keep
one-dimensional
Oxygen
is
honest
still a really dangerous
Wasn't
thing. I mean,
expecting
these
to
players
score,
are
but
all
if you do, you
individually
do.
so good in the
Great step
air.
from Archie.
As I say it,
Cross
Archie
one out
kind
of the
of
midfield line. Here
loses
comes
that
CRR.
one, but they're
Down
all
into the
so
middle, but nobody home
they're
for
so
Complexity.
dangerous on that
They
end that you
only
have
grabs
to
the boost
kind
and
of
AJG.
respect what they're
It
trying
could
to
have been
do.
awkward, but
But Complexity is just a really good
handled
defensive
cleanly
team,
on the
and they seem
dribble
like their
off his own
comms are
backboard.
on
8
point.
seconds, that's
So
another big block
it's
from
just
Oxygen.
kind of
Looking for the
kind
dump
of
into the
easy
middle. Unfortunately, it doesn't go far
sometimes.
enough. Rise is going to be looking for the one opportunity to beat everybody.
There
The
it
race
is.
ball's too late. We're going to game 5.
Who opens this up
Rise
with a
does it
demo?
again.
Is it Rise
OT
again?
Slaughter.
That's-
He gets his hat trick.
He had one in
Game
the
number
last game to
4
open up a
sends
roller
us
for them. He
to
gets a backside
game
demo
5,
again. I
and
think it was on
that's
CRR this time. Archie and Rise
microcosm
both got
why
goals
you
by
have to
demoing
have the give and
AJG in the
take
previous
of
game.
space in Rocket
I mean,
League.
that's
You cannot
what
always
half
try
of their
and stay on
offense throughout this series
There
that's
were a
come
couple
just
challenges
on the
there in
heels
those last,
of
15,
demos to
20
create
seconds or so
3v2
where
transition
Complexity, yeah, they
opportunities.
hit the
So
first challenge
really
and
not
they
what you'd
drive forward
expect
on
from a
0
team
to
like this
15
who have
boost
so much
just because they
solo
wanna have a
capability.
presence in an
They're
area.
finding a lot of
And then you
opportunities
find
just
yourself too far
quick
forward
transition on
with
the back
not
of
a way to get back, and
catching
all of a
Complexity
sudden
on
there's Rise
backside
who just went
demos,
for that
which
first
is
challenge,
surprising,
taking
but
you
hey,
out
if
in
it works, it
midfield, and it's
works.
like you have to. AJG,
Pretty low
really
boost.
Nice backside support on defense. Down into the middle. There's tight follow through from CRR. They say send it hard. They're not going to
Jory's
see it coming.
flat-footed, nothing
They've
in the
got tunnel
box in
vision on the ball in
transition.
the corner. CRR closes the space down.
They sent the house,
Great
and
play
it
by
pays
Complexity.
off as the passing play
Forward and just manipulates the timing of it. Gets a huge bomb downfield, wastes a few precious seconds, and
Jory's a space.
Oxygen Esports, even with Complexity in the most
Hey, I
dire
mean, there's a
straits,
team play. That's
finally
one of the
pushed down
first.
the other side
That's one of the
break
first
them
team
down,
plays I
but
can remember
feels
from
like
this
too
entire
little too
series
late.
from Oxygen. They're finding a lot of those, like, you know,
Just
backside
not
demos
highly
to open up
probable.
space, but
2 goals in
you know,
17
it's probably garbage
seconds.
time, too
They
little,
need
too
one
late. But
right
that's kind
out
of
the
what
gates.
you
Gotta
expect
have something set up
more
here. Let's see
commonly
what
from
they go
Oxygen's
with.
offense.
Little cheat up.
All right, so over the course of that series, these are our totals. Let's have a quick look here. Oh my gosh, 8 for 23 from Rise. 8 goals. Led the way pretty substantially for the team. Pretty awesome shooting percentage. Jory is 1 for 18. Archie, a lot of assists, which makes sense. We saw him kind of, you know, setting up, being kind of that dynamic front playmaker, and then Rise and Jory is kind of playing off of his opportunities. So 5 assists certainly makes sense. So, you know, that was definitely a series. Oxygen created a lot of attempts. They certainly could have won it. If they ran it back 10 times, Oxygen probably win, you know, 4 to 6 of them. It felt pretty tight. But ultimately, Complexity, great defense, able to weather the storm that Oxygen were bringing, and just not enough creativity from Oxygen to beat a team like this. All right, Oxygen Pioneers, 3-0 sweep. This might be a quick part of the video, guys, so we'll see. We'll see if we get any highlights or insights from this one. All right, so we're halfway in. Well, there's the first goal. We're halfway in. Pioneers have literally seen the other half of the field one time. So Oxygen's just been sustained pressure, making sure that they control the boost, trying to, you know, they're getting a lot more space than they were against Complexity, and they're able to put one away there. Are they all, they're all Octane, which is pretty rare for top teams to go all Octane these days. Glass half full. This has been, Oxygen have created some really great chances. This series could easily be 3-0 at this point. This game, rather, could easily be 3-0. Glass half empty, Oxygen have been unable to put away some pretty great looks. Just poor shooting.
Nobody from Oxygen gets there. Jory is late. He had no boost. Rise got the catch, just has to kill it. He does, but that's KCP ball. Scrub trying to get it to the ramp. He's got it. got to contend though. Rise kicks Scrub out of the way, and Oxygen win a close game one. Banana Head got smoked. He couldn't see Archie.
Look at all
So he
that
flipped
space.
just to be in the area to try to make a
Rise
cover,
once
to try to
again,
contest
finishes
the
in the
ball.
box. Finally get beat. Pioneers just can't keep enough momentum. It's just crazy, man. Like, Oxygen seems like in every one of these games so far, they're not holding possession to try and transition or anything at all. I mean, we saw one late there. Jorius kind of held the ball and went for a pass middle, but just everything they're doing is just booming the ball and trying to play off mistakes. There's no passes into the middle. There's no holding the ball and trying to make a ground play in transition, use the side walls, set up solo plays, anything like that. Literally the whole game plan is crush the ball, try and hit it off the sidewall, off the backboard, something, and then have your teammates make a play off of it, or you make a play off of it. But there's almost no, like, hey, let me find you in space. Like, no pre-jumps looking to, like, in the box, nothing. It's just all solo plays. Oh, man. Is that a goal? Rise just baits him in, acts like he has no boost. Boop. Beats one. Oh, Banana Head, dude.
I don't know what Hunter was doing on that play.
Hey, that's pretty good team play. Look, I mean, Hunter gets absolutely dusted right there. Rise finds Jorius and Archie's on the backside, you know, kind of distressing Banana Head. That's the best full team play we've seen the entire event so far. All right, so our stat breakdown brought to you by Shift, guys. Brought to you by their stats page. Just looking through here, I mean, just a dominant performance. 10 additional shots by Oxygen over Pioneers. You can see here, Pioneers really had nothing. They had one garbage time goal. Both of them, honestly, were goals that, you know, didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Oxygen had way more space on the ball, a lot more solo plays. We saw some team plays kind of come out, but I'm unsure if that was more of an intentionality thing or Pioneers just allowing so much space through their wide rotations that it kind of worked out that way. It took Oxygen a little bit to get going into the series on the scoring front. Of course, they had sustained pressure the entire time, but they didn't score at will as much as you might have thought. But that's okay. They were playing it pretty smart. I mean, you can see the assist numbers. They assisted on every single goal they had, which is definitely a far cry from what we saw against Complexity. And yeah, you know, they didn't score like gangbusters or anything like that, but they got leads so quick in some of these games that they kind of could just hold on to them. I mean, obviously they blew it open in game 3. They scored 5 goals. So, you know, really it was pretty tight up until that last game. But even though the scoreline was tight, it never really felt like Pioneers for extended periods of time were like really pressing the issue or anything like that. So good win by Oxygen, a win that they should have. And now they're getting into Gen.G. So let's see how that goes. All right, guys, here we go. This is the big rematch. Remember, we had this in the fall major too, and this series was just unbelievable. It seemed like they were just, Oxygen was completely the kryptonite to Gen.G. Remembering that series, it was just everything fell Oxygen's way, and Gen.G just couldn't stop the bleeding, which honestly was something that happened to Gen.G a lot in this tournament as well, where they would have these games where they would just drop like 5 goals straight and unable to stop the scoring. But we're not here to talk about Gen.G. Let's see how Oxygen looks. So they win this series, and oh, that's a rough start. Hopefully the offense looks a little more cohesive here. I mean, I feel like I keep saying that, and it's really just a slow breakout by Oxygen there. But I feel like I've been saying that a lot, like kind of being negative about this team. I'm trying to be critical of this team, but definitely not negative. I mean, even though they clearly haven't played together a whole lot so far, and you can see it in some of the team plays and things like that, all 3 of them can still just set up just really wild attempts just based on their talent. So, you know, hopefully I haven't sounded too negative on Oxygen so far. Just trying to be critical and kind of break it down.
The time machine and read the future, knew where Jorius was back in this ball.
See, Jorius, it's something that really has snake bit this team quite a few times. These clears just that don't really have a lot of purpose. He's just trying to boom the ball out, but Nolly's right there for the read.
Looks great.
To every person. So methodical.
Backside demo.
Prepared, but with a demo, it doesn't matter
Oh.
what it looks like. If you're deleting players off the
Hey,
pitch, it's gonna
another
be
great
easier.
team play. It looks like Rise gets a backside demo. Another one. He's really been opening up a lot of space. Jorius misses the shooting angle, but you know, he's still there early enough, like good read to be there, and Archie with the game sense to put that away.
From the backboard.
Another one. Look at them. Physical on the goal line. I mean, Rise with another one. He is really, I think that's 5 in groups so far, where Rise has got a backside demo or a bump that has led directly to a goal.
Gen.G at base. You've seen him done it. He's done this all season. A perfect soft little touch. He gets underneath it, and I mean, Chronic's just ridiculous, man. He's so good.
Oxygen's worst nightmare right there. Chronic. Don't give him some space. Don't give him the opportunity from the ceiling. It's a fancy one. And under 2 minutes to go.
Oh my
Chronic, man.
That's not fair, bro. You gotta give some people a chance out here.
Chronic.
Back to
2
back.
in a row.
Big body.
All by himself, the dunk
Man.
on top of it.
Look, you know, like these are the team plays that we really hadn't seen up until this point. They're really starting to put it together against Gen.G. Maybe it's they feel confident against this team from when they played them previously. Maybe it's just it's the 3rd series in groups now, so it's starting to come together. They're feeling it a little more. Maybe it's the crowd. I don't know, but we're definitely seeing some of those team touches. Oh man. And if Jorius starts feeling it like this. See, that's the thing, like even in situations where like Jorius doesn't get as many offensive looks as he would have on previous rosters, he still, when he finds the opportunity, is one of the best strikers that we have. So, you know, if he gets it rolling, that's the thing, is you just, it can be any of these 3 players. That was what was so dangerous about them at the outset. You didn't really know how it was going to work out, but no matter what, it just, you felt like it would work out. How could this team not score at will? Archie has been awesome, by the way, in the defensive third especially. I can't really remember transition too much as another awesome passing play breaks out. I mean, this is when I think at the beginning of the series that I talk about those games where Gen.G will just lead like crazy. Look, I mean, we're not even halfway through and it's 4-0. That was an awesome passing play. What was I saying before? Archie has been really all over the place, not in transition, but in like a set defensive setting. He's been electric at, you know, reading plays and shutting them down while also getting the ball out of dangerous positions as well. All right, so we're 3 in. I mean, from this series so far, Jorius has been awesome on the offensive end. I don't know what it is about these series against Gen.G. I guess he just gets up against Jack, his former teammate, but he's been great. I've been surprised by, I guess I didn't remember how physical this team likes to be, and whether it's demos or just like being physical, like bumps and things like that, especially if Gen.G is in transition, it's Rise on those backside bumps and demos, right? But even if Gen.G is set in their own defensive third, Oxygen are doing a really good job of disrupting, you know, staying on the ball on the back wall and things like that. Gen.G are just kind of unable to you know, to hang with that physicality so far. It's really just been some chronic outbursts that have kept them in this.
Missed him just a tad. To commit from Gen.G. Jack in the air. Now the net's open and Dorian nails it.
Nails it indeed. I don't think you
This
get
has been a
more
huge
accurate
series
than
for
this.
Jorius.
Top corner and in. One of the best shots we're gonna see.
Oh,
It's
laser,
pretty, it's
bar
accurate.
down. All right, heck of a series, really back and forth between these two. It ends up going the distance. A lot of punch, counter punch in these different games that we have. Big goal swings, 3 here for a team, 3 there for a team. I mean, Jorius, we haven't seen a game like this from him just yet. 9 goals on 19 shots. He led the team, which is rare. We saw in that Pioneer series, was it, where Rise had like 23 shots taken, really leading the charge for them, but now we see Jorius. All right, and this is it. So this is where Oxygen ends up going out to Vitality. Couple deep overtimes in the series too.
They left the net wide open.
It's a hot one to handle, especially when you get a player as good as Jorius going at it. Easy to think how he thought maybe it was going to wind its way into the net.
I think one of these games has a 0-second goal,
But no shot came. Archie on the bounce. It looks like it
but I
was
can't
Mark.
remember.
Was that Jorius who put it out to Archie? Now Archie trying to keep the play alive. Back to the middle. Shutting down the air dribble, shutting down the
Oh, big miss by Archie. Jorius has to go. Is that it?
Then it's crickets.
So far, Vitality are really the only team that have been able to match the physicality that Oxygen have been trying to bring. Gen.G couldn't hang for most of it. Pioneers could hang a little bit, but they just didn't have the scoring output. Complexity handled it very, very well as well, even though they were, pushed around a little bit. It was kind of, that series was before Oxygen was really going for that. Also, AJG had pretty awesome demo numbers throughout this entire tournament, and their defense was just so solid as they let in another one. Look, Vitality are just all over him.
Trying to find a way out, just couldn't get there.
Sazen creates a double from Oxygen. Radosin slot. Yeah, I mean, good point there by James Bot. It's the same thing we saw against Complexity, where they're just not, Oxygen's offense doesn't have as many dimensions as you would like for it to have. They're just trying to boom the ball away, go for those kind of testing. Is that another one? Is that a breakaway? So I think that's Oxygen's, I mean, super lucky, like you want to talk about RNG goals. Just pressed weird. But I think that's their first goal since game 1 for Oxygen, and it's that. We're just not seeing them able to break through what Vitality are doing. They're reading all of those deep clears, intercepting at the midfield. They're up on top of them. Some similar things that Complexity are able to do, but some of the things we see from the European region pretty often. But Vitality's just all over.
Able to get the clear out. However, Oxygen again forced back. A shimmy and a shake from Sizen.
Oh my goodness. Sizen knew he's got some space to create something, but how do you do it? The hard
and then this pass.
Get around to the outside of the ball to the right, and all of Oxygen's just like, hey.
The Alpha was right on his back.
Turnover.
They just punted the ball right back down to him again. You got to be careful.
Chief is on it.
Lose awareness of Oxygen. You're just going to go right back into the teeth of them.
Flip reset. Sizen off the ceiling. Perfect flip reset, but no one there. And now a race to the other side. Archie. Another challenge. And it's back. The shot. It's good. Oxygen stay alive.
Oh, no one saw
a team that's been going for backside bumps all event long. Backside pass to Jorius. Slots it, puts it away. Great pass from Rise, too, to the middle there. I mean, that one was tight. Down the end, Vitality putting on a lot of pressure. Oxygen got to feel real lucky to get away with that one. Look at that dynamic playmaking from Jorius as the front man. Archie strikes and puts it away. They've been missing a lot of those crossbar and out shots, so big one from Archie there. Ooh. Weak shot from Rise. Who's there? Archie backflips. Waterfall. Rise weak shot allows for a quick transition. Archie side flips. Jorius tries, but that's a rough one to read. Just got to be better on the offensive end.
Some space, sweeping the line, stealing the boost.
Archie's out. Misses corner.
Such good
awesome transition here by Vitality. Alpha, great touch. Puts it in a really awkward spot. Sazen's already up. Killing him in transition. They really have killed it in kickoffs, and I can't remember who said it in the last series. It might have been Jorby, but they're really aggressive on those kickoffs where they really press hard. It's a coin flip, because if you lose those, you're immediately giving up possession and putting yourself in a bad spot. But those kickoffs have worked out for Oxygen just there to even this up, and they worked out many times against Gen.G as well. Oh, he missed. Who missed?
Can't afford to miss the ball.
Is it Rise?
Good enough challenge. Rise knows he's going to get it, and I actually like the idea. Go up there, try and be aggressive.
Vitality.
Backside demo. Is that in? I don't remember it ending like that. That's crazy. Look, Jorius gets demoed right here. right off
worst case
screen.
scenario, Archie wants to
Oh
get it
my
to the corner.
gosh, and then
Alpha
Archie
says,
pinches
I'm
it.
trying to push up field.
I mean, man, shocking that that's all Oxygen scored. Rise's only goal, if you remember, guys, 1 for 13. The only goal he scored was that full field roller where Vitality honestly just had a layup and they waffled it. It wasn't even really their fault. So that's the only goal Rise has in the entire series. Only 1 goal from Joria's, 1 goal from Rise, 5 goals on 43 shots. A lot of that, you know, is not totally accurate because they're trying to pepper the net and just create opportunities, but man, really rough performance from them on the offensive end. All right, guys, so that's it. We rewatched all of them. If I had to consolidate everything into one thought, I guess it would just be that I still, you know, I was just on the Wave Dash podcast, and I said that Rise was a top 3 player in the world even at this point. I understand. The results do not speak to that, but I'm having a difficult time parsing through what he meant for this team and the struggles that they had and even the injuries and what that kind of meant. I just felt like this wasn't a great situation. And then you compound that with the injuries. I still think, especially at LANs, there are very few people I would take over Rise, especially in big moments. Rise definitely was not super impactful in that final series. I guess if I had to give overall thoughts, I still think all 3 of these players are skill-wise certainly top 20, top 25 in the world. But yeah, you know, I guess it makes sense why this team is splitting up. I just don't feel like this, even though they were so uber talented, I don't feel like this is a trio that can consistently be successful, just because I think at a base level you need to kind of have your players know what their roles are, and it just doesn't seem like this team figured it out. Just a too much scoring. I know that the rumors are, I don't know if it's confirmed, but that they're going to go with eekso as their 3rd now as Rise moves to BDS. I think both of those situations will be better for both parties here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something. Please, I appreciate it if you will comment your thoughts below on how Oxygen looked in this tournament, what you think of where Rise is going to BDS, that new lineup, this new Oxygen lineup that we're going to see. If you would be so kind as to like the video, and if you want more content like this, subscribe. Always very appreciated. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I'm going to go eat some lunch, get some more water, and until next time, guys, take it easy.